Alright, welcome back to my course on Unity 2018 for beginners. In this video, we're going to be focusing on some other pickups besides coins. In the last video, I showed some models that I had made ahead of time to make things interesting. So I've got my first scene loaded up here, and I opened this model folder and briefly showed you guys these two models. So this one will be a speed power-up, this one's a jump power-up, and I did these in 3ds Max. They're very simple models. I will be uploading a video on how I did it so you can do it yourself. The software is expensive, but it's free if you're a student, so that's convenient for people like me. Let's get started. So right here we're going to make the speed power up first, and you can see it's pretty big. Okay, if you ever do that with a model as you're importing it and you notice it's way too big or way too small, you can click it here and go to your scale factor, and I had already set it to 0.1. Let's try 0.05 and see that it's still way bigger than our player. We don't want that. Oh, 0.01 maybe. I'm being nitpicky here, but I think 0.02 will work well. Okay, that's pretty good. So we click it here. You notice it has a blue name. That's called a prefab. If you don't know what that is, we will talk about it in the next video as we discuss level design and other concepts like that. So here we can see we have the speed power up. It's a very similar size to our coin here. I want to see if 0.75 would work better. Okay, that actually looks pretty good to me. So there is our correctly scaled power up, and now we're gonna make a material for it. We're gonna call this speed power up. I wonder why. And let's see, what color have we not quite used yet? Red. Or no, we use red for the enemies. Let's give it, I'm kind of liking this teal color. We can drag and drop and apply it here. It's actually two different arrows, so I could do that, or I could drag it to the object, I think. No, that's because that's an empty object. Never mind. But if that object is a mesh itself, then it would apply to the children too if you wanted. This speed power up just holds those two little pointy arrow objects. So there's that, and let's go ahead and drag the jump power up in here too. Oh my god. Nice. Let's go ahead and see if the same scale factor works. I think it should, because I did both these power-ups in one fell swoop. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and see if 0.75 will. Looks good to me. And then we can give this one an orange color so it contrasts with the speed power up. Jump power up. We're going to take this to this one, and that one as well. Okay, I like that a lot. So, moving on, we're going to write some code for all this stuff. First, we're going to make a new script. What's the cylinder? Oh, this is a coin. You see here that all this stuff is kind of disorganized. I don't know how OCD you guys are, but I do not like it. So what I often do is I go create empty. I may have mentioned this in the last video, but I use empty objects to organize things. So here we have an empty object, and I named it the environment. And now here we can take the sun, the ground, wait, I'm pressing the wrong key, not the player, because that moves. We'll take the goal, we'll take the enemy cube here, what else? That's good. Put it in the environment, drag it up, and already you can see things are getting a lot more organized. And the canvas and the event system, I think the event system can go inside the canvas. There we go. And then we can call this UI canvas, yes, spelling. There we go. Also, you see when I clicked that, it made me zoom all the way out. That's annoying. I don't want to do the WASD all the way over there. So I can just click an object and hit F, and it'll just light up yellow and not do what I wanted it to. If I double click it, it'll zoom straight into it. Now we're going to write some code. I'm a little slow today, I'm sorry. So we have the coin script, enemy script, player controller, UI manager. This one's going to be a speed power up. And actually, let's do some semi-advanced programming stuff. We're gonna make a class called pickup, and eventually get rid of the coin and the speed power up, because this stuff gets repetitive to an extent. So we're gonna have a public class called pickup that's gonna handle most of it, and then the coin will have special code and the speed power up will have special code. So we won't be getting rid of the files themselves, but we'll be getting rid of the bulk of the code since most of it's similar. So we have the start and the update. You know what the starter code looks like by now. Here's this. So on collision, enter, collision, collision, all that good stuff. We're going to take this, and then we're going to Control C, go to the pickup, get rid of the starter code, paste all this stuff. We have some things that don't match up and some variables, so okay, we're gonna have an int here called value. So this value can be used in the coin class, it can be used in the speed power up class. Actually, let's go ahead and not do an int, because I just thought about the fact that the speed is a float along with jump force, and that would not be good. So we're gonna use a float value, okay, and we're just gonna give it 1 for now. And then this needs to be player. I don't know why I backspaced that. Collision.transform.GameObject, send message, string, method name. We need to make these public. And now, Okay, these are just highlighted for no reason. I don't think there's an error here. We're going to send it the method name that we want to call, and the value, and then send message options dot don't require receiver. I explained all this in the last video in case you're confused right now. Now, coin value, that's all good, but since we made the pickup, all we have to do now is get rid of this, and then instead of deriving this class from mono behavior, we're going to derive it from pickup. Okay? And now actually, with the way I set this up, we don't need a coin script anymore because we can change the method name and we can change the value. I was thinking about doing a method inside each script that would derive from pickup, that would override the original pickup one. But since we can just change the method name, we don't need that. So coin goes bye-bye. And I know I just got rid of it here. We're gonna get rid of it for good. So bye-bye. And then here, also bye-bye. Now the only code we need to write is within the player script. So we have pickup coin. Now we're gonna make public void pickup speed power up. Instead of value, we're going to call this mult. This is going to be our speed multiplier. Then a public void pickup jump power up. Okay, so we have this, and before we write any more code, we need to go ahead and add some things. So within here, so we're sending the message to the player, but we don't need these methods in here because these have to do with our movement, so they should honestly go in the player controller. And the reason this is going to work is because both the player and the player controller scripts are attached to the same object. And as I explained in the last video, this send message method will send the message to every single component attached to the game object that we're interacting with, in this case in the form of a collision. So if it's a coin, the player script is going to get pick up coin. And if it's a speed or a jump power up, this script's going to get the speed and the jump power up. So right now we need, okay, player speed, jump force, cool. But now we have to incorporate some default values. So public float, float. This is, what is it? What's it going to be called? Default player speed. What? Why? It's gonna be 1 public. Oh my goodness. Equals 80 is a lot. Let's go ahead and do 8. And the way we're gonna have our power-ups work is get rid of it after a certain time has been reached, and then we will have that through with. So we need some values to keep some time. Public float and then another public float. Okay, these values are going to represent the time left that the player has to use this power up until our values reset. So that's all nice. What we're going to do now is use these values. So player speed is going to be multiplied, that's times equals, by mult. Makes sense. And then we need one more value here. If you were to do power-ups that had a specific time, for example, if you had two different speed power-ups and one of them was 60 seconds and the other was 30, then you'd want to go about this a different way. But for the sake of simplicity and keeping things basic, we're going to make a default time. So power up duration, and this is going to equal, let's go with 15 seconds. Now we're going to set our speed power up time to 15 seconds by assigning it power up duration. Okay, and this will ensure that we will never get a time more than 15 seconds or whatever our value is. Even though if we were to pick up two power-ups at the same time, we couldn't just be tricky with it and have like 30 seconds of power-ups, because you know that would just be crazy. With jump power-up, we're going to do the exact same thing. Jump force times equals mult, and then speed power up, nope, not speed power up time, jump power up time equals power up duration. Okay, so we have all this, but Eric, our time's never gonna go down. I know, we're getting to it. Right here in the update, we're gonna check and see if these values have anything left. Okay, so if speed power up time is greater than 0, speed power up time minus equals time dot delta time. Delta time is the change in time, in case you haven't taken any advanced math courses just yet. Delta just means change. Okay, so we're going to subtract this number by the change in time, as the update method is called. Now once this happens, so else we're going to set it to 0 so we don't get a weird negative number for whatever reason. And then we're going to, what are we going to do? We're going to set it to the default value, because that's what makes sense. Speed equals default player of speed. Okay. Now we're going to do the exact same thing for the jumping. If jump power up time is greater than 0, time dot delta time. So some things you can see are hard to avoid when you don't want to be repetitive, but with scripts like this, we avoided writing a lot of the same code over and over again. This is jumping. I keep looking up to it to see exactly what I did, and I end up typing the wrong stuff. Equals 0, and now jump force is equal to default jump force. Okay, that's great. And then later in the course we can add a UI element that shows us how much time we have left and all that. But for now we can test it by simply, hold on, we're going to go to our player. We're going to turn the time down. So here's the player. Okay, we have the start position and all that. Here it goes. Power up duration 3, and then default jump force. Yep, cool. Now this speed power up, we're gonna make it insane, so we can definitely see a difference. We're gonna have a box collider here. Does that look low? Yeah, it does. Okay, so when you see something like this, you can always change the center, and then you can hit it from your axes and make sure it's all aligned. Size, nope, we want it like right there. And you can get even more nitpicky with it, but for our purposes, that's good. Now we're gonna add our script, not a new script. We're gonna add the pickup script, and this is gonna be pickup speed power up. The value is going to be 2. Okay, our player is already insanely fast. Let's go ahead and change that. Default player speed 0.25. I remember having that a bit lower. Let's go ahead and make sure the jumping's good too at 8. That's fine. Okay. That's definitely, oh, we changed levels. Hey, the goal works though. Okay. That wasn't super visible. I just want to make sure. So we should be shooting off into the distance at this speed. Yeah. Yeah, I think we did it. Bye. Now with the jump power up, all we have to do, attach the exact same script. Pick up jump power up. Value 10. Oh boy, that sounded really weird. I'm gonna not do that ever again. Here, let's see if we can hop to it. I suck at my own game. Meow. What did we do wrong? There's no collider. That's what's wrong. Center. Uh-huh. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. Move that. Move that there. And we're good. So now we should be moving pretty fast and jumping. Come on, get it. Oh my god, it works. I wish we could look up with the camera. Here, we'll be able to do that in a second. So yeah, there you have it, power-ups. Let's go ahead and turn this down. I just want to make sure the timer still works. Yeah, so we have the 2. Go back to the player, make sure the duration's 3. And this should give us a good little test. Okay. So now we can jump high. And now we are jumping normal after 3 seconds. And then we can go here. Woo! Man, I don't know about you, but this is already kind of fun. I could waste some time on this. We got rid of the script, so now we need to throw that on there. Get rid of this. Pick up coin is the name of the game, and the value is 5. So here's the game as of right now. We've got working power-ups, if we can touch them. Alright, there's our speed. And there's a coin. We got 5 coins in the top left corner, as you can see. And if I can hit the jump power-up, we jump pretty high. Oh no! We're gonna have to fix that, boys. This is kind of cool though. Where'd I go? Ah! Come back! What have I done? Wait. I'm gonna pull this back. We're gonna rotate it up a little. So, in the code, we never accounted for being able to jump in the air. So if we keep hitting the space bar, we're just gonna fly around, which is pretty cool, but we probably don't want that for the game, because the players would just be able to fly around the levels and then win. There's no reward there, there's no struggle. So in the next lesson, that's what we're going to be talking about instead of what I had planned. Let's see if I can get him close to the camera. Hey! Hey! Fix me! He's gone. Alright guys, that went a lot longer and it's kind of unnecessary, but you know. That's how I am. So, if you enjoyed this lesson, be sure to drop a like, leave some comments, let me know what you thought about this. We got the power-ups done today. That's good. In the next lesson, we're going to fix that whole jumping fiasco. And nobody says fiasco anymore. That was really dumb. Wow. Okay, thanks for watching. Be sure to tune in for the next videos, and we're going to wrap up this game very, very soon. Goodbye.